You want to make an avoidant person start chasing you, not by playing games, not by pretending you don't care, but by understanding how people really work. That's exactly what we're diving into today. And right from the start, I want you to know something most people never say about avoidant types. Avoidants are only avoidant with people who let them be avoidant. In other words, with people who make it safe for them to disappear, to keep things casual forever, to dodge intimacy, without any real consequences. Think about the avoidant person in your life. We all know one, right? They've basically learned that with you, they can text you back whenever they feel like it, and you'll still be there. Keep things casual for months, and you won't really push. Pull away when they're overwhelmed, and you'll give them space. Keep you guessing about their feelings, and you'll sit there analyzing instead of acting. Whether you've realized it or not, your energy may have been telling them, hey, you have permission to be avoidant with me. I used to believe that if I was just patient enough, understanding enough, low maintenance enough, that people would eventually drop their guard. But that's not how it works, and I want you to let go of that illusion right now. Here's what's actually happening. Avoidant people often learn very early in life that getting close to someone is dangerous. Their nervous system is wired to constantly scan for proof that closeness equals pain, pressure, or loss of freedom. So, when you're chasing them, trying to get clarity, accommodating their hot and cold behavior, you're actually proving their fears right. You're showing them that love equals pressure, and relationships equal someone wanting more than they can give. But here's the twist, and this is where things get good. When you become so secure in yourself that their pullbacks don't even shake you, something shifts. You're not waiting by the phone for their reply. You're not decoding why they took 3 hours to text back. You're too busy living, working on your goals, seeing friends, enjoying your hobbies. And suddenly, they start acting differently. I've seen it over and over with my clients. The avoidant starts texting first. They ask what you're doing tonight. They bring up future plans. They even get a little jealous if they sense someone else might be catching your attention. Why? Because secure energy is magnetic, even to avoidance. When you stop being the anxious one, you create psychological safety for them. They no longer feel hunted, trapped, or pressured, and in that safety, they actually have space to come towards you. What being secure actually looks like. A lot of people think being secure means acting like you couldn't care less, like you're walking around with sunglasses and an unbothered attitude. That's not real security. That's just emotional armor. Real security is a lot softer, but stronger. It's when they finally text, you reply naturally, without overthinking the timing. Because you're not building your day around their messages. Or checking your calendar before agreeing to hang out, not as a game, but because you've already filled your life with meaningful things. And here's a big one. When they pull away, you don't leap into fix-it mode. You don't double text. You don't write long emotional paragraphs explaining why you're worth keeping around. You just keep being you, the same person you were the day before they pulled away. You keep laughing with friends, going to that yoga class, working on your creative project, posting your weekend hike. Security means you don't shrink to fit into their comfort zone. You stay at your natural size. It's not coldness, it's not indifference. It's self-respect in action. What happens inside them? Here's where it gets really interesting, because avoidants aren't simply commitment phobic or unemotional. They are wired for self-protection, and that wiring was often laid down in childhood. From an early age, they learned something like, if I get too close, I'll lose myself. If I depend on someone, I'll get hurt. If someone sees all of me, they'll expect too much and I'll fail them. So every relationship becomes a balancing act in their nervous system. Get too close, danger. Pull away, safety. Now here's the paradox, and this is what most people miss. Avoidants still want connection. They still want love. but they want it in a way that feels safe to their nervous system. When you're chasing them, over-explaining or showing too much anxiety about losing them, their brain lights up with alarms. Here it is, the pressure, the loss of freedom, the proof that closeness equals being suffocated. That's when they retreat. But when you're secure, when you're living your life, when you don't react in fear to their pullback, you quietly break their pattern. Their brain is expecting the usual, someone who gets needier the more they pull away. Instead, you remain steady, and this steadiness creates something unfamiliar in their nervous system: psychological safety. At first, they might just notice it in small ways, like feeling strangely drawn to you, or catching themselves wondering what you're doing. Then, as more time passes without the usual pressure, they start to feel the opposite fear. Wait, what if they don't need me? What if they don't stick around? What if I lose them? That's when their abandonment wound, the very thing they've been trying to avoid, wakes up. And ironically, that fear can be even stronger than their fear of closeness. It's in that space that they start showing new behaviors: texting first, asking where things stand, dropping hints about the future. In their mind, they're not thinking, "I'm scared of intimacy." They're thinking, "I might lose something good if I don't act." Why this isn't manipulation? Some people will say, this sounds manipulative. But there's a huge difference between withholding love to get a reaction and simply being secure. Manipulation still comes from fear and control. You're just expressing it differently. Real security means your focus is on your own life, not theirs. You're not obsessed with how to get them to act differently. You're living in a way that feels good for you. What this looks like in practice. Here's the difference. Instead of sending "good morning" every day and feeling hurt if they don't respond, you text when you genuinely have something to say. Or, instead of keeping Friday night free just in case they ask you out, you make plans, and if they want to see you, they plan ahead. And here's the crazy part. The more secure you become, the more they start showing signs they're worried about losing you. Why security is attractive. Security is peace. It's stability. It's someone who won't turn the relationship into a constant storm of drama and overthinking. Most avoidants have spent their lives running from clingy, needy energy. When they meet someone who is solid, self-sufficient, and drama-free, they notice. Here's the bottom line. Stop organizing your life around their comfort level. Start organizing it around your own needs and values. Be more afraid of losing yourself than losing them. The real transformation happens when you realize you'd rather be alone than be with someone who needs you to be anxious just to feel comfortable. And that's exactly when avoidants start chasing, because they finally met someone who isn't trying to control them, someone who is just living them life and letting them choose to step up or step out. So stop asking, how do I make them more affectionate? How do I get them to commit? Start asking, how do I become so secure that their avoidance doesn't mess with my peace? When you do that, everything changes. They either rise to match your energy, or they leave, and either way, you win. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments. And remember, your security isn't just attractive, it's freedom.